Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, another video on Marvel Contest of Champions.
Thanks very much for that intro, Rich, on a water slide. Now I am back. I've been on holiday for the last week, so this is the first time I've been in Le Studio to record any content. And like Eminem, I am back. Like Backstreet, I am back. But I have missed out on something. So that's first things first, and that's the Legendary Triumph. So thanks to Sean HQ for his triumphant work in the old Labyrinth of Legends. And obviously, it's my turn to open the crystal and hopefully get something quite good out of my Infinity Protocol. Could it be a 5-star? Here's hoping for that. That would be absolutely delightful. But I know it's going to be a 3-star. Come on, I got good luck with Domino, as you all know if you watched the video. So can I pick up something? No, it's 3-star, so whatever. But opening up a crystal that was long overdue and referring to myself in an Eminem and Backstreet related type thing of being back is not the plan of the video. We've got to talk about Alliance Wars. Back about 24 hours ago, we got this little message dropped on us by Kabam Mike in reference to Season 5 of Alliance Wars. In this message, and to really kind of kick things off with a truth bomb, he says that it's the most popular feature for competitive alliances. If these competitive alliances are ones that are cheating and now have been banned, then the answer is no, it's not. But Mike even says that there are some changes afoot, and every time I see the words like Kabam Mike, Kabam and changes, I get a little bit of like, ooh, bad feeling about this, you know, like a bit of a spidey sense tingling. To be honest, I think it could be something serious. I should see the doctor. Maybe they'll say it's Kabamitis or something. In all seriousness, some companies do look to constantly improve what they're doing. And business practices like Kaizen, the idea about constant improvement, do ring true. And some of you within the community may say, well, Rich, isn't the other phrase that you should never return to a lit firework? Doesn't that ring true? Now, Kabam have decided they want to benchmark. And that's the thing, benchmark, not, you know, the lifting of the weights, but benchmark it against performance variables. In particular, what they want to deliver against are these 3 things up here. But this also comes with other things, in my own opinion, that need to be considered as extra deliverables. And looking at these pillars here, there should be some other ones to this, some kind of branches off. The first thing for me is like, well, nodes, should they be ridiculously difficult? A lot of people are talking about node 29 in particular, and we'll talk about that further in a moment. But the resource spend, with changes that we're going to discuss, is just going to be more of, again, pushing towards extremes of spending in game. But I do agree with Kabam in that it should be a more flexible thing, because at the moment it doesn't feel quite so flexible. You cannot really be a casual player of the game and feel that you are making like extensive gains. I'll give you an example. Like September, I took the month off. I was only logging in to do Alliance Quest and Alliance Wars, because if I spent a month not doing it, then I'm not going to gain the little bit of kind of extra that is going to allow me to then increase my roster, which then is going to increase the amount of champions I have, which is then going to increase the amount of higher ranked champions that I have. And you see how this works. It's like a domino effect. By you stopping at one point, it affects your further progression and gain. So it is important, and the emphasis at the moment is important to do Alliance Wars. And as we know, you are losing out on 8 key champions because, as we all know, it's competitive. You're putting in your most competitive, strongest champions in order to make sure that you are going to win as an alliance against the opposing alliance. So flexibility is vitally important. And again, we'll cover these points now. A lot of what I just said there is clarified in this first point here, which does seem this is a possible positive progression with the Alliance Wars meta, with champion requirements. Not champion requirements as you certain starage or a certain type. It just feels that your roster is going to be more diverse in usage from an attack and defense perspective when you do Alliance Wars. The statement that was made in the first pillar is kind of repeated in this one here, and it talks about viable champions and from an offensive perspective, which does create variety, and I do commend that. I think that is very good. I'm really kind of unsure about a lot of the changes that are going to be made. Lots of promises in this one that it's going to be sunshine and rainbows, but is it actually going to deliver? But will it also pee off those that have then gone, right, well, I've ranked up certain champions? Because that's what we're going to have now. We're going to have the influx of the criticism, negativity, maybe on those rosters that have been developed around the scheme of Alliance Wars Attack and Alliance Wars Defense. I know that there's some champions that I've put and ranked up quite high that I'm then now going like, well, what's the point? Should I have even bothered to do that with changes to Mystic Dispersion? That's another thing, isn't it? That's the other argument that we have as a player base in the community, is that our choices on certain champions being ranked up, be it for Alliance Wars Offense or Defense, are largely reflected in whatever Kabam decide to change, which, you know, does come with its positives and negatives at the same time. Now let's explore the final pillar, which is making it more flexible. This is where it's going to be the make or break for it, and I understand that Kabam want to change things as they go on, and the limited time frame between each season means that they can adjust things as they go. Now, this can be a positive thing, and also it can be a negative thing at the same time. Changes to Mystic Dispersion haven't exactly been great for the player base. I mean, yeah, it's been great to kind of clear stuff, and it hasn't been too much of a bugbear. But for players that have, as I said previously, ranked up certain champions for the purpose of usage in the game mode, are now feeling undervalued. Now, I must apologise as I go. There are things that keep cropping up that allow me to then repeat myself, which I think is important in some ways. But this sentence here kind of sums up a few things in that you will need a longer time to rank up a certain champion. And if we're saying from a scenario perspective that I have a 5-star Awakened She-Hulk, and then I'm like, right, okay, well, under the new meta changes of Alliance Wars, theoretically, that champion is going to be more viable. So when will I be able to rank 4 or rank 5 my She-Hulk in order for usage in a competitive light in Alliance Wars? And that will probably take about anything between 3 months exactly. You just know for some top tier alliances they'll go, do you know what, we'll be able to get that like that, easy peasy. But for others it may take a longer time. So therefore the whole current state of competitive nature with alliances is going to take a little while for the player base to are able to change, unless we are offered things like rank down tickets. That goes further to solidify that point by basically saying what we all know. If you get the best champion, the best new champion, the champion that seems to do like 50,000 damage from an SP2, then chances are that's going to be a great offensive. If you've got a champion that is rock solid and you're going to find it difficult to smash through, then hey, then that's going to be great for Alliance Wars Defense. It's the same thing, and yes, there's some stagnation to that, but at the same time, if you create, because it's not about us at the same time, it's a two-way street. If you create it, then there's going to be want. I'm not going to say like, well, a shop creates a very tasty chocolate. Am I going to then go, do you know what? Do I want that chocolate? Yeah, of course I want that chocolate. It's tasty as hell. And I'm going to keep buying it. So it's the same thing. If you put something out there that's really good, you're going to want it. And at the same time, that's going to be used in Alliance Wars. The idea of global buffs does seem to be something of a step forward and does create originality around the whole aspect of seasons. Whether or not the whole community is really backing this idea, it does seem that this is something different and takes it away from, say, how it used to be, and does break up that stagnation which we've been experiencing with Alliance Wars. And the 2 buffs that are looking to be put in for Season 5 are amped up. So that's all about female characters, and I'm pretty happy with that. I've got my Medusa, I've got my Captain Marvel, brilliant. But yeah, the issue is bleed immunity, and the player base have also decided to go, hey, well, does this rule out Blade? To a degree, yes, but most of the time I go in a bleed immunity path in Alliance Wars. It doesn't really seem too much of a problem, but there are a lot of people that have said otherwise, citing Gwenpool. That is annoying, and at the same time there are a couple of other champions that the player base have gone, do you know what, well, that really rules out one of the best champions that I've ranked up. Thanks. But obviously these roll from time to time and do create a diversity to a degree in the type of champions that you are playing with from an offensive point of view. Next up, and let's talk about cheating. Now, as we all know, for the last 4 seasons, there's probably been a real bad time for cheating. Whether or not it's 2 stars being placed, collusion, piloting, there's just no end of kind of unclean and sour taste in people's mouths when it comes to the whole Alliance Wars seasons. with the word cheating. And even now, it's a case that we're now pointing fingers constantly at one another. If one alliance is doing really well in alliance wars, then they'll point the finger and go, you must be cheating because you're doing well. And we've seen so many things in the meme thread about this, and that is a thing. But how are things going to change when it comes to Season 5? Kabam have got some answers to this. Right, let's talk about cheating. Okay, Season 5 is going to bring a new era. There's going to be some improvements. There's positives and also there's negatives at the same time. Positives, Kabam are going to address the singularities, the people that cheat within an alliance. But the bad news is that the rest of the alliance are being punished as well. The one thing that I would have hoped that Kabam would have been able to look at a bit more. So, for example, Billy No Mate's alliance. The leader goes, oh, I've just been sent a message by Kabam to say that one of us cheated. So as a result, it will address the alliance. Or your alliance is cheated. And therefore, he addresses the other 29 people. Hey, other than 29 members, what's the deal with this? Somebody's cheating in the alliance. The other 29 players go, wasn't me. What, you Shaggy or something? It wasn't me. Well, one of you cheated, and as a result, we're all being punished. Does it help? No, we're still at that stage again. So it would be nice to see something where they say they punished the one person and not everybody's affected, but it looks like the one person's being punished and the other 29 people are being punished as well. And there may be people that go, right, well, that you know, they should get punished. The alliance should get punished. In my opinion, it would be better to just freeze them. Freeze the rating as it is. Don't dock the rating, but freeze it. Say they miss one turn of matchmaking or something like that. I mean, I'm not the expert. I'm not the one running the improvement, and I will welcome people to put in the comment section and also go to the discussion board and come up with some better ideas. But having their rating docked is going to affect them in some sort of ways, and say, well, they can't matchmake for about 12 hours is some sort of a punishment. It won't be the best punishment in the world, but I can't think of the ideas. You know, you've got to think of ideas too. And it looks like the matchmaking is going to get an improvement as well. We talked about this in the news a while ago, where one of my subscribers, one of the people might be watching, sorry I can't remember your name, but we did talk about this in that they were waiting hours to get matchmaking, and it was really affecting their seasons to a point where they were barely getting awards in throughout the entire season. So like, this needed to be addressed a long time ago, and I'm glad it is being addressed now, that hopefully people in the same situation that want to be competitive and do as many wars as possible get to have plenty of wars. And the final thing to talk about is finding your place and home in an alliance based on requirements. So your skill level, your activity level, because that's really important. As we know, this game rules our lives like another job. And in some cases, it's much more than that. It's just like another part of your life that you just can't escape. So this may be perfect to then find an alliance that is based on your particular amount of time that you grind out in game, and say your skill level. If you are one of those players that have decent Wi-Fi, you have a decent device, and also you have excellent reaction skills, then you're going to be best placed to be in one of the best alliances in the game. And also if you've got a lot of bang, a lot of buck, a lot of money in your pocket, then you know that is going to suit you down to a T. But when it comes to finding a permanent home, it is quite difficult. So Kabam are going to make that easier. And it's kind of important that this be addressed. Last season for our alliance was just pretty crap. We wanted to aim to be better and kind of going into another type of reward bracket, but it was let down by people letting us down. And that may be, you know, criticism on them because they didn't want to up their game. They didn't want to participate and be active. And as well, at the same time, just kind of go, well, I've had enough. I don't want to play quite so well as I should need to be. So that does affect other people. One person's actions affect another 29. But should that be such a pressure? Because that's the other thing. We're going like, right, well, we're pressuring people to play well. And, you know, there's no taking back. You make one mistake in Alliance Wars, granted, you will probably get your entire health gone. And that is the difference between having, you know, the best champion in the world and a not so best champion in the world, taking the best defenders in, taking the worst defenders in. There's so many different variables to look at. Have you boosted up? Have you healed up prior to going into those battles? Yeah, it's really competitive, and you really have to think a lot more the higher up you get. Over in the discussion board, a lot of players have had their feedback to Kabam Mike on the subject of this. Username points out the fact that certain alliances that then got their rating smashed and then went down several tiers of rewards are now appearing in a what Kabam want to do about this. Haven't seen responses just yet, but I'm hoping we do. I tell a lie, I just found something where Kabam Mike says they are going to look into something, hopefully that it's here by season 5. Apparently this forum page has 14 pages of comments. If you do want to go over and have your say, please do so by going to the link in the description below. So that has been a video all about the changes that are coming for Season 5 of Alliance Wars. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe for more Marvel Contest of Champions based content. If you've got an opinion, put it in the comments section or go to the link in the description, which will take you to the discussion thread. Have your say. I've been RichTheMan and I shall catch you in the next one. Bye bye for now.